Have you ever sat by the ocean and felt like it was trying to tell you something? That gentle whoosh of the waves, the salty spray on your face, it's like a secret language, isn't it? For a little girl named Sophie, it was more than just a feeling. It was a promise. Sophie lived in a little cottage so close to the sea, she could taste the salt on her window panes. Every day, she'd run down to the shore, her bare feet sinking into the warm sand. The ocean was her best friend. She'd tell it her secrets, her dreams, and her worries. And the ocean would listen, its waves crashing in a steady, comforting rhythm. She loved the sound more than any song on the radio. It was the soundtrack to her life. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky in fiery oranges and soft purples, something changed. The usual rhythmic crash of the waves was different. Woven into the sound was a melody, a gentle, ethereal hum that seemed to call out just for her. Sophie's heart skipped a beat. It was the most beautiful sound she had ever heard. Was she imagining it? She tilted her head, listening intently. No, it was real. The ocean was singing. Curiosity, stronger than any fear, pulled her towards the water's edge. The song grew clearer, a chorus of sweet, shimmering notes that danced on the breeze. Without a second thought, Sophie followed the sound. The moonlight cast a silver path on the water, and it felt like the ocean was inviting her in. She waded into the gentle surf, the cool water swirling around her ankles, then her knees. The song was all around her now, a magical lullaby that made the whole world feel peaceful and safe. As she moved deeper, an incredible sight unfolded before her eyes. The water began to glow with a soft, otherworldly light. Tiny fish, sparkling like scattered diamonds, swam around her in joyful circles. They weren't ordinary fish. They were made of pure, shimmering light. A group of crabs, with shells that looked like polished opal, scuttled sideways on the seabed, clicking their claws in time with the melody. They weren't scary at all. They looked up at her with friendly, curious eyes. Sophie giggled, a sound of pure delight. This was a secret world, a hidden concert just for her. Then, from the heart of the glowing spectacle, a figure emerged. It was a mermaid, her hair like spun moonlight, and her tail a dazzling mosaic of pearlescent scales. She had the kindest eyes Sophie had ever seen, and her smile was as warm as the summer sun. The mermaid swam towards her, her voice the lead vocal in the ocean's grand symphony. "Welcome, little one," she sang, her voice like wind chimes. "We've been waiting for you." Sophie, speechless with wonder, could only stare. Why is the ocean singing?" Sophie finally whispered, her voice trembling with excitement. The mermaid smiled gently. "The ocean sings for those with a kind and listening heart," she explained. "It sings for those who love it not just for its beauty, but for its life. You, Sophie, have always listened. You have always cared." The glowing fish swirled around the mermaid, and the friendly crabs gathered at her tail, all seeming to nod in agreement. They told Sophie stories of the ocean's wonders, of ancient coral castles and gardens of seaweed that danced in the currents. But they also spoke of their fears of the forgotten nets and the strange, new things that drifted into their home, making the water sad. Tears welled in Sophie's eyes as she listened. She hadn't realized her friend, the ocean, was hurting. Looking at the kind mermaid and all the magical creatures around her, a fierce determination grew in her heart. "I'll help," she declared, her voice clear and strong. "I promise I will protect you. I'll tell everyone how important you are. I'll make sure no one forgets you." The mermaid's smile deepened, filled with gratitude. "Thank you, Sophie. Your heart is as deep and as true as the ocean itself." She and the creatures guided Sophie back toward the shore as their magical song began to fade with the approaching dawn. When Sophie's feet touched the sand again, she turned back. The magical glow had vanished, and the water was just the familiar, dark blue of the early morning. Had it all been a dream? But then, as a final wave gently lapped at her toes, she heard a soft, clear whisper carried on the foam. It wasn't a song this time, just the simple words that echoed in her heart. "Thank you, From that day on, Sophie kept her promise. She was the ocean's voice, its champion, and its truest friend. And sometimes, when the world was quiet and she listened very closely, she could still hear the faint, beautiful melody of the singing sea. Thank you so much for joining me on Sophie's magical journey. If you loved this story, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more tales of wonder. See you next time.